ఉషోదయం ఛానల్కు స్వాగతం.
Ramayana Part 6. Rama, Sita and Lakshmana rode into the chariot at the very edge of the Kosala. It was the evening when they reached the river Tamasa, but news of their arrival has preceded them. Guha, the king of Nishadas, was waiting. He offered them fruit and water and a cushion of leaves under a Nyagroda tree so that they could refresh themselves. Rama dismissed the chariot, bidding an affectionate farewell to Sumantra, the charioteer, who had known him since he was a child. Sita was exhausted, but she put on a brave face as she was prepared for her first night outside the city. She recalled that she knew that Earth was her mother and would protect her in the days to come. The Earth would provide her with food and with a warm bed, even with flowers for her hair. A little distance away, Rama and Lakshmana sat with Guha, talking quietly. "I must dress in clothes of bark," said Rama. "Help me, Guha. Show me how to mat my hair, for I must live as an askin for 14 years. Tell me about the roots and the shoots that we can eat. Show me the berries that will slake our thirst. I have much to learn from you. I too shall live as an ascetic," said Lakshmana. "Our royal finery is not much use here, is it?" He smiled ruefully as he loosened his quire. "But ascet or not, I'm going to keep my weapons, and I'm going to keep them in good order, Rama. You are a warrior. I cannot imagine you without your bow and arrows." Rama looked at his brother, and his heart swelled with pride and gratitude. He suddenly sensed how much he would need Lakshmana's courage as they faced unknown dangers. He was glad that he was not alone. "We must leave this kind land as these good people tomorrow," he said. We are still too close to Ayodhya. I promised that I would live in the forest. Guha will set us on our way. We shall have to walk. I wonder how Sita will manage." "She will walk between us," said Lakshmana. "You will walk ahead, and I will bring up the rear. We are both armed. We can face anything. Watch me build a hut for you tomorrow. You'll be surprised," he went on, feeling a sense of adventure rather than dread. In the morning, the princess went down the river to worship the sun, bathe, and perform the morning rituals. It was a clear day. A soft breeze blew and carried the fragrance of unfamiliar wild flowers to Sita as she woke from the dreamless sleep. Since they carried little with them. It was an easy departure. Guha, who had been a good friend of Dashrathas, accompanied them for a distance and set out on the path to where the sages had their settlements. For Sita's sake, Rama knew that their journey in the distant forest must be slow and in stages. So he was pleased to spend some time with the sages and their wives, all of whom treated Sita gently, as if she were their daughter. They gave her new clothes and washed her hair and rubbed her feet with herbal oils. They taught her how to use what the earth offered so generously. Despite his wife's delight at being the sage's wives, Rama knew that they had to keep moving. "Go to the region of Chitrakuta, said the sage Bharadwaja. "It is a pleasant place where waterfalls and streams and sloping meadows. The rain is gentle, and the trees and rocks give you shelter from the sun. Birds and animals live there because it is an abundant in food and water. Sita will be comfort, and you and your brother will be at ease." Rama and Lakshmana thanked the sages for their kindness and generosity. They set off, going further from Ayodhya, from the palace and their families and their kingdom. They walked easily, stopping to eat and rest by murmuring streams and whistling groves of fruit-laden trees. Sita pointed at flowers and creepers and birds along the path to her husband, but it was Lakshmana who held them back when he saw a snake sunning itself on the rocks by the side of the path. At night they slept, warm in their beds and of leaves and dried moss in shelter of trees with white canopies, watching the stars and listening to the night birds. Sometimes it was possible to forget that they were in exile, banished from the people they loved, and that 14 years, long years, away from their home stretched ahead of them.